I was out snow blowing and shoveling, and met my neighbor. I have a new neighbor. They moved in about maybe 4 months ago. I met the wife when they moved in, but I just met Joe, the husband, and asked him. It was funny. I asked him about my music, and because I've been here 10 years now, and I've had four different neighbors, them being the fourth. And each neighbor, I keep asking, can you hear my music? Because I play my music loud. Yes, I'm not loud, but I play my music. And each one, Shelly was the first neighbor. She said, "Oh no, Michael, I can't hear you." And it's real funny because one day I was driving home. I was coming home, and I pulled into the driveway. And man, you could hear it was in the summertime and the windows were open, of course. She was cleaning and she had her music just going. And I pulled into the driveway, and she must have seen me pull into the driveway, and she says, and all of a sudden the level of music, by the time I got out of the car, the level, I couldn't hear the music any longer. And so I went over, knocked on the door, I said, "Shelly," she listened to country western, and I said, "Shelly, I love country western. I love all music." I said, "and matter of fact, what you were playing was pretty good, and I wouldn't mind opening my windows and listening to it." I said, "So you don't have to, you don't have to turn it down like that." And I thought that was real funny. But and then Kristen moved in, and she had two girls, like 11 and 13 at the time, and I said, "Kristen, do you hear my music? Does my music bother you?" And she said, "Oh, Michael, I can't even hear it. Oh, it's like not even having a neighbor. I can't hear it." And I said, "There's no way in the world you can't hear it." In the summertime, I have a wireless speaker that I keep on the deck, and I pipe my music into that speaker as I'm out there eating or relaxing or reading or whatever the heck I'm doing. And so that I know everyone can hear. I know the people down the block can hear that one because I live in a wooded area, and so the sound it's a kind of like it travels along the woods, and it goes down that way because I have woods right up to the street, and then it's open all the way to the back, so I know the people in the back can see it as well, they can hear it as well. But no, can't hear you, can't hear you. And then Hope moved in after Kristen. Hope moved in, and I asked her, and she said, "Oh no, I can't hear it, Michael. Do you hear my kids?" Because she used to, she had like a play area down. Her kids were younger, and she had a play area down in the basement that she let her kids, that her kids were down there all the time. And I said, "Yeah, when the very thin walls in the basement, you can kind of hear between the two apartments." And I said, no, I said, I hear them. I said, but they're kids. That's life. It's just like, it's so funny because they used to play, in the wintertime, they played in the snow. Oh man, that was like the coolest sound in the whole wide world, hearing kids laughing and having fun. And so I had a single woman living there. I had a single woman with two older kids living there, and now I have a single woman with two young kids who are enjoying themselves in the yard, playing, being silly, and in the snow, just doing whatever they do when their cousin comes over or whatever. It was pretty cool. It really was. But that was that. Now Joe, I just met Joe, and he said, yeah, he said, as a matter of fact, the other day, he says, I came over and I knocked on your door. He said, I was knocking and knocking. And I said, well, I might have been upstairs, I might have been in the bathtub, or I might have been doing anything. Who knows what? I said, I wouldn't ignore you. He said, yeah, but he said, not so much the sound. I couldn't hear what you playing. He said, but the bass, boom, 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 was coming through the wall. And I said, oh, I apologize. I'm so sorry. And he's maybe just a little slightly younger than I am. He's probably 50 or so, and a very nice guy, So we stood and had a conversation, and it was pretty cool to meet your neighbor. And we told him we'll help each other. I had the snow blower, so I told him I'll do his snow line, the plow line, whenever it snows, because he says, well, I can get the rest, but the plow line is terrible. I said, no, I mean, I do it in front of the mailbox anyways, so I might as well just go another, 15, 20 feet and do his plow line. It's the same exact thing as doing it in front of the mailbox and doing my plow line. So good. We formed a good bond there, and I think I have good neighbors again. I've been real lucky back here. Before I moved in here, there was a a motorcycle gang who lived in my apartment. They lived in my apartment, and Shelly lived next door. And she came home from work one day. She used to work at Mass Mutual, and she came home from work one day, and one evening, she had the weirdest hours. So she came home one evening, and there were people everywhere. It's funny because Fleetwood Mac right now is playing everywhere on my DVD, but they had people everywhere. She said she came home and she goes to a door and there were people on her deck, sitting on her deck in her chairs, in her deck furniture. And she said, "Excuse me, this is my deck. This is not a public deck." She said, "Can you please leave it?" She said the yard was just filled with people. They had their motorcycles in the front yard, and they had the people in the backyard. She said it was incredible, and what this whole thing came down to is the duplex next door. I'm out in the woods, but I have a duplex, and then farm from there on in. And but these in the middle of nowhere, these two duplexes, and the duplex that Lauren just purchased, they were growing marijuana in the basement. They had a hypo, whatever it is, hypoponic farm going in their basement with the lights and the drip and the whole thing. It was pretty funny. So the Ludlow police, FBI, and the state police raided it, and it was really fun. I remember that was when I first moved here, because they had thrown them out of the house, and all the people did was push all of their furniture, everything in the house out to the street for the sanitation department to come and take. It was so funny. It was just a huge mound of furnishings and stuff, and it was really funny. I guess they just, well, it probably wasn't they, because they were in prison, so they probably had nothing to do with it, but their family or the U.S. Marshals or whoever did it just put it all out on the curb, and the truck came by and picked it all up, threw it all away, and life was good. It's been pretty quiet back here since. But, so that's who I am and where I live, and I promised you a topic for this week, and I've been batting my head out against the wall. See the bruises here? I just couldn't think of a topic. It's because this week has been too good. The people you hear in the background, Fleetwood Mac, went to see them this past Saturday night at Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. And went with 6 friends, and we had a blast. It was so much fun. And it's so funny because this is Fleetwood Mac, so you're going to get people anywhere between 45, 50, 60, 65, because Fleetwood Mac is anywhere between 65 and 72 years old. The band members are, and so you're going to get people who followed them when they were 20 and wild. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun with a really good crowd, old and young. A lot of fun with a really good crowd, old and young. And I had a really good time. We went down there. I had to go to school, of course, in the morning, and then the second class, the afternoon class, was canceled because our professor is in Paris right now, and so it was canceled. And so it left us time to all group and head down. We took Elaine's car and headed down to Uncasville and had a good time. I really had a good time. It was great. Elaine and I had lunch at McDonald's and then came home and met everybody, and then we went down there, and Lynn and Tim met us down there because they had other things they had to do beforehand, and it was just a really good time. We had great seats. It was so funny. Elaine and I were on the floor, and we had floor seats, and the seats, Matt and Illa had seats in section 14, and then Tim and Lynn were up in section 114. So what we figured we'd do is during the concert we would switch. They'd get to sit down on the floor, we'd get to sit here, and then they would get to sit here, and then they would get to sit on the floor. So everybody got whatever view that we all got the same views at one point or another in the concert. I thought that was Elaine's idea, and she's the coolest lady on earth, and so we did it. Lynn and Tim, they didn't do it. They stayed up there until the end, and then they left early and they went straight home. But Matt and Hilla and Elaine and I, we switched. And I had told Elaine, I said, you realize that Matt's seats are better than ours. I said, because we're on the floor, but we're back here on the floor, where they're on the side, but they're like right on top of Fleetwood Mac. And sure enough, when we switched seats, you know, Elaine said, "These are good seats." I said, "Yeah, like we're right there," you know. And I took a few videos of them with my iPhone, and it was an exciting night. It was really cool because Fleetwood Mac means a whole lot to Elaine. It's like it's like this much more than a bucket list item. It's a life item too. And so we sat there watching Fleetwood Mac, and then I text Matt and said, you know, there's 4 seats in front of us that are empty, so why stay down there? Come on up. And they did. They came back up and sat in front of us. And Fleetwood put on an incredible show. They really did. They did things from way back. They did things from the Fleetwood Mac, their first Fleetwood Mac album. I don't know if you know the story of Fleetwood Mac. It originally was Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, and it was a blues band. It was, a heavy-duty blues band. And Peter Green was one of the best blues guitarists ever to live. And drugs got the best of him, and drugs got the best of him, and so he left his own band. The funny part of the whole thing is he himself used to play for John Mayall, and Mick Fleetwood and John McVie also played for John Mayall's Blues Breakers. And when Peter Green left and formed his own band, he wanted the best rhythm section he'd ever heard in his life, which was Mick Fleetwood on drums and John McVie on bass. And he said, if you come with me, I'll name the band Fleetwood Mac. So he named the band Fleetwood Mac was Fleetwood Mac before Mick Fleetwood or John McVie even played in the band. That's like the craziest story in the world. And Mick Fleetwood came, but John McVie stayed with John Mayall, and later on, of course, joined the band, and the rest is history. But here you have the founder of the band who leaves the band to Mick Fleetwood and John McVie, who carried it on and eventually got Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks into the fold, and Christine McVie, of course, married to John McVie. She, became the vocalist after the changes happened, and but they have an incredible story, because if you listen to all of their songs, all the songs are very personal songs. This past Sunday, the Grammys were on this Sunday, and Kanye did his Kanye thing, and tried to interrupt, and it's somewhere in the world of music, some group got together and voted Kanye West the voice of modern music, I guess. At least that's what's in his mind. But and as a boomer, that's nothing new. I can't say that wouldn't happen back in 1972, because it did. It did happen back in 1972. And it happened in 1962, and it happened in 1952, and it happened in 1922. So I guess it just goes along with the biz. But Kanye, he's just a bothersome guy, and if I was in the biz, he wouldn't get by me. Like I said, I'm a very outspoken guy. I don't let things happen for long, and once things bother me, I attack, and Kanye would be attacked. This is the international sign for attack, by the way. I don't know if you know that or not, but attack. So as far as the topic for today, I guess the topic is still me, and I'm waiting for people to, I had, driving back and forth to work, I had like 4 or 5 different things. I said, okay, I'm going to do this one, I'm going to do that one, and I might do five videos in a day or something like that, and on different topics, and they'll be a lot shorter than this one is, believe me. But I just wanted to get another video out, and Fleetwood Mac is Fleetwood. I can't do a baffled boomer, because right now I'm not baffled. I just got to see Fleetwood Mac. You can't be baffled after watching a concert like that. I mean, I cried 3 or 4 times during the concert, because they mean so much. Their music means so much to me. They themselves do too. But because Fleetwood there was a lot of turmoil within the group of Fleetwood Mac. And, you know, I stand there and I say, you know, that song he's singing, he wrote because he and Stevie broke up, and because of his anger or his sadness. And Stevie wrote Silver Springs in retaliation for what Lindsay did, and Christine wrote songs when she and John broke up, and it's funny, people always say they feel so sorry for John McVie because he doesn't write songs, so he can't answer. He just plays his bass, and life goes on, and I guess that's what we all should do, huh? Let's not retaliate, let's not hate each other, let's just play our bass. Okay, I love you.